right, hi again, and welcome back. Attorney Steve Vondran, welcome back to another exciting episode of Legal Side of Politics. So, this is on everybody's mind, and I thought I'd get right into it. Let's talk about impeachment. Somebody asked me, can you explain this to me, Attorney Steve? What the heck is going on? Who's going to be the president? Is he going to be impeached? How does it work? All right, let's just stop wasting time and go to the Attorney Steve litigation whiteboard. Now, this to me is a form of litigation. You're trying to take a sitting president, Donald Trump, third year into his office, and you're trying to impeach him. Now, a lot of people say, well, they've been trying to impeach him since he won. Okay, so, but nevertheless, here we are, and I'm not taking sides. Don't even try to get me to take sides. I don't do that. You know that. So anyway, but we are talking about the process. For those of you who don't know, you say, I don't know, it sounds so complicated to hear all these things from all these media outlets. Let's see if we can try to make this easy for you. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to read the articles of impeachment so you can actually see what it looks like, okay? So let's take a look. Basically, you've got Trump in office. Now, they're claiming there's a lot of stuff going on, that he was engaged in some activities with Ukraine. Trump is saying there's things that Biden did with Ukraine. His son was on a board or something, receiving money for being on the board. So they're going back and forth, and some people say, well, this is a political duel. They're dueling each other like out in the streets. And so Trump's digging dirt. Biden was doing stuff that they're questioning. So you know what? It's politics. This is what goes up on the hill, okay? But let's take a look at the impeachment, okay? So what's going on right now? You may be watching TV and you go, what's going on right now? So right now, here's the House. Everybody knows in our form of government, we have a House of Representatives and we have Senate. We have the House, the HR, and the Senate. Now, what's the difference? In the House, we have 535 members. These are chosen in elections across the United States, okay? These are chosen. You may see a House of Representative coming up, a congressman or a congresswoman, as we say. They're running for Congress, okay? This is all the Hill, by the way. So they're running for Congress. So this is the House. The full House has 535 members. Now, the House and the Senate, they also have all these committees, Judiciary Committee, Foreign Affairs Committee, all these little committees. The committees aren't the full House. You take let's just say you take the best from the full 535 and the ones that would be best in the Judiciary Committee, and this is the one that I like because this is where all the lawyers are. So I like to watch the impeachment proceedings, the inquiry as it's called. It's not actually an impeachment yet. It hasn't been voted on, so a lot of people are confused. He's being impeached. He's being impeached. No, he's not being impeached. He's in the process of being impeached. It started with an impeachment inquiry, okay? So now the case is they're going back and forth in the Judiciary Committee, okay? The Judiciary Committee. And this committee consists of 22 individuals, men and women, from a variety of different states, 12 Democrats, 10 Republicans. So the Democrats are in the majority. The Republicans are in the minority. So this is expected. These articles are going to be voted on. It's being debated right now. Should we take something out? Should we put something in? So that's where they're at right now. They're debating the articles, okay? So, but this has to pass a vote of a majority vote. So you got your 12 to 10. It's probably going to come down on what we call partisan lines, where 12 are of the Democrats. They're going to say yes. We're voting for impeachment. And the Republicans, the 10, are probably going to say, nope, we are not for impeachment. So it's going to go then to a full House, a vote of the full House, 535 members, and there they need a majority. But the House in the House, this is a Democrat majority, okay? D for Democrat. So it is expected to pass the House. Maybe not, though. You don't know. Maybe not. Maybe there's too many people that say, high crimes and misdemeanors off a phone call. Maybe that's a little tough for me to swallow. Plus, I have to get reelected. And he's apparently Trump's doing a pretty good job in the country. So I don't know. Maybe. But it's expected, from my personal opinion, is I think it's going to probably pass here for sure. Here, probably. And then what happens if that happens? These articles go to the Senate. This is where the trial is. This would be the trial of the decade, by the way, surpassed only by the OJ trial and maybe the Jodi Arias trial, Casey Anthony, those kinds of trials. Big. This would probably be even bigger, okay? Because why? It's the president. And what happens here, I have Chief Justice. This is the Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, becomes the judge presiding over the matter here in the Senate. So that's how it works. So the House has the sole power of impeachment, as I say, power of impeachment. The Senate has the power to try. This is your trial. Now, the president would need to be convicted. In the Senate, we have 100, but the president would need to be convicted by a 2/3 vote. Okay, that's 67 people. 67 people would have to say, it's called a supermajority. And they would have to say, yes, he should be impeached. This is a high crime and misdemeanor, should not be tolerated. Those kinds of phone calls seeking to have his opponent reviewed or investigated by Ukraine should not be. It's an abuse of power, and we're going to talk about that in a second. So final question, so that vote happens. If he is removed, if he is impeached and convicted, I should say, who becomes the president? Drum roll, please. Michael Pence from Indiana. Michael Pence, the vice president. Boom, he then becomes the president, okay? So you never know all the politics that could be involved in this 100. The Senate has the majority of Republicans, so put R here, okay? And so a lot of people say, nah, it's never going to go. There's never going to be enough here. There's not going to be enough Republicans. This is kind of a whole show. It's a political show, okay? But we will see. We never know. We are not privy to all the information. We do not know what would go on here. What happens if Pence becomes president following an impeachment and he's so excited he has a heart attack? Who becomes president then? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? Nancy Pelosi becomes the president. So I just want you to be aware of that. So this is basically how impeachment works. This is the general process. You got just a majority here, but you need a super majority here. And if you don't get that, this is all good fun and good politics, and then you go and have the next election, okay? So now, without further ado, let's take a look at the actual articles of impeachment, and let's see what they say, okay? All right, let's do it. Let's take a look at the articles. Here we go. 116th Congress, first session, House resolution impeaching Donald John Trump, President of the United States, for high crimes and misdemeanors. Wow. In the House of Representatives, we just talked about this, Mr. Nadler submitted the following resolution, which was referred to the committee, blah, blah, blah. Resolution, here it is. Let's take a look at this. Impeaching Donald John Trump, President of the United States, for high crimes and misdemeanors. I just said that. Resolved that Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, is impeached for high crimes and misdemeanors, and that the following articles of impeachment be exhibited to the United States Senate. Remember in my video, the first part, I said it goes to the Senate. It's like a complaint in a criminal matter, essentially. And there will be questions about the standard of evidence. I don't think this has been the burden of proof, as we call it. Will it be, because it's crimes, will it be proving every element beyond a reasonable doubt? That's a tough standard. Or will it be some lower standard? Anyway, that's going to be the subject of another video. 5, articles of impeachment exhibited by the House of Representatives of the United States of America in the name of itself and of the people of the United States. But, you know, the people are always divided. You know how it goes. 50-50, you know, basically, down the line. Electoral college usually resolves all the presidential battles. President of the United States of America in maintenance and support of its impeachment against him for high crimes and misdemeanors. Say it again. The Constitution provides that the House of Representatives shall have the sole power of impeachment, and that the president shall be removed. Shall, those are heavy words. Sole and shall, and the practice of law, those are heavy words. Shall be removed from office on impeachment for, and conviction of. Now, conviction is a criminal law term. I'm not a constitutional expert, although I'm pretty good, I must admit. Conviction is usually used in association with crimes. And here they talk about treason, bribery, or other high crimes like felonies and misdemeanors, okay? In his conduct of the office of the President of the United States and in violation of his constitutional oath to faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States. So they're claiming he's not even faithfully executing it. And to the best of his ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Realize, everybody, that the Constitution is just like any other legal document. It's open to interpretation. That's in part what they're battling about. So that can be a partisan issue. And in violation of his constitutional duty to take care that the laws be faithfully executed, I just said that, Donald J. Trump has abused the power of the presidency. Abused the power, this is kind of the buzzwords we've been hearing. 17, using the powers of his high office, President Trump solicited the interference of a foreign government, Ukraine. Now remember, supposedly there's this battle between Russia and Ukraine, and supposedly Russia, and I say supposedly because I don't know, I think sometimes we are all just here digesting the quote-unquote news, but supposedly Russia interfered with our election, but they're skirmishing, or there's a war with Ukraine. People are dying, and yet we're giving Ukraine aid, but Russia interfered. You would think that maybe everybody would be fine with that if they're so mad at Russia. Now we're giving aid to Ukraine and have been for several years. At any rate, in the 2020 United States presidential election, he did so through a scheme or course of conduct that included soliciting the government of Ukraine to publicly announce investigations that would benefit his reelection. That's into Joe Biden. And I talked about this in the first part of this video. Joe Biden, when he was vice president to Obama, he was appointed the foreign policy minister to Ukraine. And what did he do? He got his son onto the board out there, and he was making 50-something thousand a month and supposedly had no experience. That's the argument. You can debate it all you want. People do. But included soliciting the government of Ukraine to publicly announce investigations that would benefit his reelection, harm the election prospects of a political opponent, and influence the 2020 United States presidential election to his advantage. So again, they're acting as if Trump can never get elected on his own. I'm giving just like what I see as a very honest reading of this, neutral. They're saying Trump didn't get elected on his own. Russia helped him in the first place, even though we know there were pictures of Obama and Putin shaking hands, and Obama telling him, I'll have more flexibility. We know all these things, okay? This is why politics to me is kind of a messy business to begin with. But anyway, so President Trump also sought to pressure the government of Ukraine to take these steps by conditioning official United States government acts of significant value to Ukraine on his public announcement of the investigations. Okay, they're saying he wanted these public announcements so that he would have a chance to gain ground in his presidential race. And there's a bunch of Democrats still in the race. They say, well, Trump knew the polls were coming out, but, the polls have never really been accurate. Look at the last election. The polls were tremendously wrong. So, but this is the argument. I have to tell you everything. President Trump engaged in this scheme, of course, or it's a scheme, or they're not quite sure which, or course of conduct for corrupt purposes in the pursuit of personal political benefit. In doing so, President Trump used the powers of the presidency in a manner that compromised the national security of the United States. That's conclusory. It doesn't really say why. And undermine the integrity. Also conclusory, doesn't say why. He thus ignored and injured the interests of the nation. Doesn't say why. President Trump engaged in this scheme or course of conduct through the following means. Here we go. Okay, let's get down to the beef, baby. Where's the beef? President Trump, acting both directly and through his agents within and outside the United States government, corruptly solicited the government of Ukraine to publicly announce investigations into a political opponent for former Vice President Joseph R. Biden Jr. and discredited a theory promoted by Russia alleging that Ukraine... Is anybody else's brain getting a little, just twisted like a noodle at this point? I mean, how can you even figure out if all this is true? Even with all the evidence in the world, how could you ever even figure this out? A discredited theory promoted by Russia alleging that Ukraine, rather than Russia, interfered in the 2016 United States presidential election. My head's already spinning. With the same corrupt motives. President Trump, acting both directly and through his agents within and outside the United States government, conditioned two official acts on the public announcements that he had requested. A, release of $391 million of United States taxpayer funds. Folks, that's you and I. And that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. $391 million, that could clean up the whole town of Detroit, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and build housing for people, the homeless. Why are we sending so much money out there? Okay? I'm not trying to get into politics, but I'm just saying, why? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Okay? That Congress had appropriated on a bipartisan basis. This is the two-party system for the purpose of providing vital military and security assistance to Ukraine. Some people say yes to sell aircraft and other American-made military gear to oppose Russian aggression, in which President Trump had ordered suspended. And B, a head of the state meeting at the White House, which the president of Ukraine sought to demonstrate continued United States support for the government of Ukraine in the face of Russian aggression. So it seems like everything's all tied in, but they all hate each other. And it seems, anyway, I'm going to let you draw your own conclusions. I'm not going to go into all that. 3, faced with the public revelation of his actions, President Trump ultimately released the military and security assistance to the government of Ukraine, but has persisted in openly and corruptly urging and soliciting Ukraine to undertake investigations for his own political benefit. It's all about Trump. It's all about Trump. These actions were consistent with President Trump's previous invitations of foreign interference with the United States elections. So this, I think there must be referring to the Mueller report. That's best I can tell. Let's see. In all this, President Trump abused the powers of the presidency. He abused the powers of the presidency by ignoring and injuring national security and other vital national interests to obtain an improper personal political benefit. He has also betrayed the nation. He's a traitor, apparently. He's betrayed the nation by abusing his high office to enlist a foreign power in corrupting democratic elections. Okay. 7, wherefore President Trump, by such conduct, has demonstrated that he will remain a threat to national security and the Constitution if he's allowed to remain in office, and has acted in a manner grossly incompatible with self-governance and the rule of law. In other words, he is one bad, nasty dude, according to these articles. President Trump thus warrants impeachment and trial, removal from office, disqualification to hold and enjoy any office of honor, trust, or profit under the United States. As Trump would say in his campaigns, you could not be elected dog catcher. All right, well, let's see what happens here. Article 2, I'm going to try to limit this down. I'm going to post this in case you guys want to go watch this. I try to shorten my videos, but there's when you're a lawyer, there is so much to say. You love talking about it all, law and politics. So anyway, but I'm going to try to keep this short. Obstruction of justice. This is Article 2. So they're mad that he obstructed Congress, that he would not participate in the impeachment proceeding. They're saying he did not turn over documents. I'm going to cut to the chase and I'll post this for you. They're saying he did not turn over documents, and since Congress has the sole power of impeachment, he's got to turn over documents on command. And by not doing that, he is obstruction of Congress. I'm going to let you read that. You want to read it, pause it, read it, go for it. But I'm going to try to shorten it a little bit. I know people don't like super long videos. So that's all that. Anything else? He abused the powers, abused of high office through the following means. Directed the White House to defy a lawful subpoena by withholding the production of documents sought therein, directing the executive branch agencies and offices to defy lawful subpoenas, telling other people to do it, blah, 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 blah. This is what I just kind of got done saying. Let's see if there's anything else. You can pause these. I'm going to post it. If you want to go ahead and spend your night reading it, go for it. Let's see if there's anything else juicy in here. This is my first look at it, by the way, and I guess that's it. So this justifies impeachment, removal from office, disqualification to hold any office of honor, trust, or profit, because, as we know, you're held to a super high standard, as we've all seen from our great Congress. So, okay, that's it. Guys, keep up the good work, everybody. Here's what's going to happen. We're gonna watch this play out. As I said in the first part of the video, you're probably going to see this pass in the House. It's going to go to the Senate. Hey, anybody knows, but they do need a super majority, and nobody knows the politics behind that. Maybe it goes down. Pence is our president. If Pence is so excited and he can't handle it, and he has a heart attack, God bless him, and I don't wish that on him by any means. Pelosi becomes president. Chief Justice of the Supreme Court presides over the case. Some people say he's a wobbler. He might do it. He might not. And when I say do it or not, there's some evidentiary issues that, a judge can always play a certain role in a case, just so everybody knows. But anyway, that's it. That's impeachment process. That's a general legal overview. This is not legal advice. I am not taking a position one way or another. Our practice goes on and continues to thrive no matter who's the president and who's on the Hill. We're all good here. So we just want a fair process. We want people to participate honestly and fairly in elections. And we want our country to be the best that it can be, okay? So very simple. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, come on, I put in some work. I'm an IP lawyer, civil litigation. I don't normally spend a lot of time in politics, but I do have a little playlist called The Legal Side of Politics. And let's face it, this may never come again, and as long as I live, this could be the last time. So I take this as an educational process, a chance to learn something. And I'm learning now that I got to run because I got more clients I got to take care of tonight. But have a great day. I hope you've enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, comment. Believe me, it matters. It keeps me going. Thanks a lot. Okay, have a great night.